Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to share with you my absolute favorite products of this year. So far, we're almost at the half-year point, and I wanted to review all of the products that I tried and really share with you like the best of the best that I've tried so far. Truly fantastic products that have gotten into my everyday makeup drawer and I just can't stop using and honestly raving about. So these are best of the best. Like, you're not gonna feel like you wasted money. If you do want to purchase any of these, try them out. All my favorite shades, all that good stuff, application. It's gonna be in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to support my content directly, you can give this video a super thanks, which is that heart icon near the like button, and you'll also get a shout out in my next video. Today's shout outs for super thanks. This one is from KLam3385. They say, thanks, appreciate this specific topic because I waste so much money on stuff that looks good on other people but not on me. And that was from my I found the best makeup for olive skin video. Thank you so much. I really am so happy that a lot of you enjoy those videos and find them helpful so you don't end up wasting the type of money that I wasted on makeup that just doesn't suit you or look good. So thank you again. I really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get started in my half-year favorites. I'm actually going to be starting with a brow product that is also the newest out of all of this makeup, but it has changed my makeup routine so quickly that I've just fallen in love with it and couldn't wait to share it with you. I don't really like doing my brows. I don't feel like I'm the best at them. Like, if it's just one thing I could skip, I would want to do it. I've thought maybe I'll get them microbladed, but I don't know. Never really took the plunge into that. This, if you're similar to me, you're gonna love this. This is the Wonderskin Wonder Blading Brow Stain in Go. I've always wanted to try a brow stain, but I was worried because I've seen a lot of people use like men's hair dye, but I was also really scared about the shade, whether it's gonna be like too red or too warm, especially having blonde brows. It's like, I like my brows to be cooler tone, so the shade can be very hit or miss. But let me show you how this one works. This is a brow tint. I have to put my hair behind my ears. And this is the shade Blonde, by the way. They do have different shades. So it comes with a brush like this, which is just like this little angled brush. What you do is you just coat your brow hairs with it. I like to do it in the shape that I want my brows to be. And I always start sort of in the middle because I want the least amount of tint towards the beginning of my brows. And when you are putting this on, it might look a little bit scary because the shade specifically, like, it looks red. I was trying this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not gonna turn out well. Okay, now that that's on, it's really important that you do this before the rest of your makeup because you are gonna have to wipe this off. As you see, it's drying, it's sort of turning into a different color. You can leave this on. I don't know what they recommend. I think they recommend 30 seconds. If you leave it on longer, it will last longer. Like, I've showered with this stain in before and washed my face and it was still kind of there. So this has just been so amazing because a lot of the times if I'm just like going out quickly, I'll do like a tinted sunscreen and I would always just fill in my brows a little bit. But with this, it's like I literally don't have to fill in my brows if I'm going for a natural look. I could just do brow gel, but it's also a really good base to add. Like, you could fill them in after this. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off so it doesn't get too dark. Then you could use a washcloth or whatever, cotton rounds, and then you just want to wipe off the extra tint, and you want to make sure you really get it off your skin or else it could stain your skin a little bit as well, but haven't had a huge issue with it doing that yet. So let's remove this. Yeah, I was honestly kind of terrified when I first tried this, seeing the color, because that's really my fear with these products, but I was so pleasantly surprised. Like, when you're wiping it off, you can see that it has that like quite strong red tint to it. I've also been using the Make Beauty Lash and Brow Serum, which I feel like has been doing really well for my lashes and brows, making them a little bit fuller and healthier. I've just been trying to get, you know, my stuff right so I can use less makeup. I like to go over them twice just to make sure I'm really like getting any extra stain off of my skin. That's why I said it's really important you do this before the rest of your makeup or else you're just gonna wipe it all off. So now my brow skin is gonna be a little bit red just from rubbing them, but once this settles, hopefully you can see the before and after of how this just tinted the hairs that I already have, because I do have very light brows and it just gives them more shape. Like, I feel like I don't have to use so much product, and it's so good if you want to do like a no makeup type of thing. Like, I know I'm raving about this, but honestly I've just been obsessed with it. So Wonderskin brow tint, love this. I do wonder if they have a taupe shade. This one can be like slightly red for me, but honestly I feel like it's pretty good. Next, let's move on to my favorite primer, which is the RMS Beauty Primer. Also want to give a big mention to the Covergirl primer, the green correcting one. Both of these have been amazing this year. This is the Reevolve Radiance Locking Primer. As always, I have a code with RMS for 20% off, so make sure to never pay full price for their stuff. This is just such a nice, dewy, hydrating primer with a little bit of glow. I'm not a huge primer person unless they really do something for me. And this one and that CoverGirl one, I feel like they actually, you know, they do it for me. Just so pretty. I feel like honestly any skin type would like this. Also gives you a little bit of tackiness, but it's not like e.l.f. Hydro Grip or Milk Hydro Grip type of tackiness, which I really don't like. This one is just like enough to grip your makeup and give you nice hydration. I got this new necklace. I think it's so pretty. I forget the brand. I think I got it on Nordstrom. It's, I don't know, so shiny. I wanted something like a little bit edgy because I really like feminine clothes, but I do also always like having some edginess in there, and I feel like this was a good way to balance things out. Really fun way. I'm very talkative today. Probably the large second cup of coffee that I've had. Anyway, now that that primer is settled, my favorite foundation of the year so far has got to be the About Face. Also really wanted to mention the MAC one, Studio Radiance, another beautiful one. I've also just tried the Fenty one, but I feel like I'm not, sorry, that's my dishwasher. I feel like I'm not as familiar with the Fenty one yet to quite name it like the best of the year. So it's gotta be for the About Face and MAC ones. I have two shades of the About Face, Fair Olive, and then I have Fair Neutral. I usually end up mixing these to get my perfect shade. Starting with the Fair Neutral shade, I do the majority of this one, and then I'll go in with the Fair Olive. This one is just too dark, although the undertone is really nice. Slightly more of a warmer olive. I'll just stamp a little bit of that one on, taking a sponge, and then I will just blend this in. Beautiful combo with that RMS primer. I did see the RMS foundation, I think, is 20 or maybe 25% off for like Memorial Day. I did try that and then I liked it and then I didn't like it. It was just, I'll have to like rewatch my videos to really remember what I thought of it. I think I just had some trouble getting it to apply right. I'm a little curious to try it one more time and maybe see if it was like my skincare, or I don't know, just like test it even further. But I do remember like they have great fair shades in that foundation. Like the 00 is very fair if you need that. I think it was just one where it was like probably better for more dry skin. This foundation, I think honestly any skin type would like it. Just so pretty, skin-like, beautiful. Halsey nailed it with this one. It's supposed to be a foundation that like doesn't feel or look like foundation. It just lays on the skin so beautifully and it doesn't feel like anything, which is one of my favorite things in foundations. My next favorite of the year so far has been this Bobbi Brown Corrector. This is just their like classic corrector stick, but in the shade Extra Light Bisque. I know they've had the Bisque shade for a long time, but this one is great if you have very fair skin. It just has a slight peachy tint. It is a little bit creamier, but I don't find that it creases too heavily with my other concealers. I usually like to work this in with my finger. And then actually before we do rest my concealer, I use my e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour. You know I love this. I did just post a contour video and this was in it. It's just the perfect shade. It's not too pigmented and it's so affordable, so what's not to love about it really? Also blends in really nicely. That's what I like about more sheer contours. They're just so much more forgiving and natural looking. I also like to go back in with my sponge. It just helps make sure everything is blended. Now for concealers too, I've been really enjoying this year. Haus Labs concealer, obviously. And then also this new Surratt one. I love how light this is, the shade 1. I think I'm actually gonna use this one today. I actually will use both, but this one I'm gonna do for my under eyes. It does also have a sponge tip applicator. Really do not need a lot of this. I feel like this dries relatively quickly, so I like to go in immediately to blend it. This is almost like a pure white concealer shade. It is so nice for fair skin. Then I'm gonna grab the Haus Labs concealer. This one is a bit more yellow, just for any blemishes. I saw Haus Labs has these new cream blush sticks and have a really pretty like cool tone pink. Might be curious in trying those out. Let me know if there's any new launches you're very curious in seeing me test. so I can add them to my next order. I was thinking of trying like a lot of those new bronzers that are coming out, like the Makeup by Mario one. I know there's also new, totally blanking on the name. I feel like there's 2 other new ones I wanted to try too. Obviously not that much though. And one more step before we set, because this is a liquid product, another product from Surratt. Also a new launch. I've been obsessed with the liquid highlighters. The shade Frou Frou is like a very light iridescent purple. It's like a step above the highlighters I usually wear on the daily basis. Like it's a little bit more metallic, but I'm just honestly so, let me grab a brush, sorry. Just honestly so in love with the shade of it. Like the purple undertone is perfect. I feel like it does not cast dark on my skin either, which is a big thing with highlight. I feel like you can make it subtle like I did today, or you can go in and apply even more just to make it really pop. Do have 2 other shades of this, a more champagne and I think a bronze. But if you're similar skin tone to me, this one is my favorite. Oh, what I think is so nice about this as well is it doesn't enhance texture, even though it does have a slightly bigger particle size than like a super natural highlight. Like it is a little bit more glam feeling, but like it doesn't enhance texture or really like sit on the skin. I think liquid highlighters are beautiful for that reason. They don't seem to enhance texture like a lot of powders or even creams can. They just sit really nice and light on the skin and really, I feel like, mimic a natural glow most similarly. For powder, loving the 100% pure Bamboo Blur powder. This is the silica powder, so do not use this in flash photography. You will get that white flashback. But if you're just looking for a really nice oil controlling powder, this one is beautiful. I do have another option that's, I wouldn't say that this is drying, but if you're using it like under your eyes a lot, it can eventually be drying depending on your skin type. But I like this because it's super smoothing. I really like using it with this KVD brush. I don't know if they still have this. It's so good. 25 brush. Just the perfect shape to pick up powder and just evenly lay it under the eyes. You really only need a little bit of this for the under eyes. And then pressing this in my more oily areas, so sides of my nose, chin, and then right in between my eyebrows. And I feel like there's been so many great powder discoveries this year for me. This one, the Bareminerals Mineral Veil, which is like the translucent pressed version of their mineral veil, is such a nice, really gentle, just like it sets your makeup but it's not too heavy powder. So I'm gonna use this on the rest of my face. For a slightly tinted one, you know, I like that Bobbi brown like yellow powder. This one is just really good all around setting powder. Great for like putting in your bag as well. Like it just gives you that really pretty soft focus, natural satiny finish while still controlling oil. And then for bronzers, 2 new ones I really wanted to mention. First is the RMS Beauty Beachwalk Betty. Still not sure if this shade is back in stock. I'll have to check and link it below. This is a beautiful neutral cooler bronzer for fair skin. Also really love the Laura Geller one, another one that pulls quite neutral cool. But if you haven't seen it, I do have a video on all my favorite bronzers that don't pull orange if you want like a super in-depth look at all of them. But today I think I'm going to use my RMS Beauty one. Actually, let's use the Laura Geller one. Change my mind a little bit. So this one, I always make sure to like really dab off the excess and get it worked into the brush. We do already have that contour and highlight on, so this is just going to diffuse right on top of that. And this is a nice smooth baked formula, so adds like a little bit of glow and skin likeness. This is a gel to powder formula. It has a similar effect as like a baked bronzer, where it's just a little bit glowy but not texture enhancing. Next, for my brows, I can tell on camera now like this tint is slightly red. Only slightly though. I do wonder if they have a taupe shade, but I'm just gonna go in with my NYX micro brow in taupe just to add a little bit more taupe color to them. Such an easy fix though. I love how easy it is to do my brows with this tint. It kind of just gives you like such a good guideline of what your like actual natural brow shape is. So I just do a little bit of this and like that's it. Also really been a fan of the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. This is also in the shade taupe. I really like NYX for their taupe brow shades. I feel like they're always on point. This one is more of like to draw in brow hairs. I use it more in the front of my brows. I forgot to pull out a blush, but RMS French Rosé, of course, is my favorite. Do really like the Persona Bubble blush. I like the Trixie palette with the purple blush. This one I reach for so much. It's actually a little bit much. It never will be though. It's just so good. It has this cool reflect to it that is just so extremely flattering on my skin. and in combination with like that purple highlight, I just feel like it looks so good. Hopping back around to brows, I really like the iconic London. This is their liquid brow silk. This is almost more like a brow glue type of product. I like to put this in my brows. It applies it quite heavily, so I'll just go ahead and slap it in there. And then I will go in with a different brush just to set them in shape. This also will pick up any extra product. Just gives a really nice hold without it being like, you know, I don't really like the totally stuck to my skin type of brow hold, but it is on the stronger side. We did already contour with the e.l.f. product, but I wanted to mention the Sephora contour as well as a cool toned contour powder. Moving on to eyes, this another game changer for me, Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. This controls oils so well on the lids, and it actually increases the longevity of my eyeshadow. Like, I really notice when I'm using this and when I'm not. It's a nice like creamy, definitely like silicone-esque texture. Slate beigey tint, non-irritating on my eyes. Next for eyeshadow, palette-wise, there's 3 that I've just been like the only things I've been using. First is the new Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette. This is just the perfect neutral cool palette if you have pale skin or you like neutral cool tones. It's just perfection. Also really love the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. Just gorgeous. I don't know what else to say about it. I do have full videos on all of these palettes if you want to see like multiple looks with them. And then the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. I honestly use this way more than I thought I would. It looks so dramatic, but I honestly get so much use out of it. Like these 3, they just carry me through everything. And then for cream and liquid shadows, I love the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow sticks. The Laura Mercier ones are great as well. This is a double-ended one with like a rose gold and then a brown. Also love the RMS eyelights for cream eyeshadow. They do not budge. They're so pretty and metallic. Honestly, so hard to pick what to use, but let's see. I think we're gonna go in with the I Need a Nude palette to start. Taking a fluffy brush, I'm gonna start with this lightest taupe shade. This is called Mesh, just as a transition. And then I was thinking of taking this look to a little bit more of like a warmer pink place. So I'm going to take this shade, which is called Vague. What's interesting about this palette is it has cool neutrals, but it has some pink in there as well. If you do reach for pink a little bit more, this is a good one to pick. I would say the Xenon's better if you're more of like a true cool tone lover. I'm going to take this and start to work it in to the crease. This is a Refer 15 brush, such a nice crease blender. And then I think I'm gonna go in with the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick. This is the double-ended one, so this is Rusted Pink, and then this side is Cinnamon. So I think I'm gonna go in with this Rusted Pink shade, which is actually quite pigmented and has like a strong gold reflect. I'm gonna do this sort of on the outer V of my eye. I do one side at a time. Taking the Make Beauty Precision Smudger brush, going to blend this in and smoke it out. Doing the same thing over here. I'm going sort of in a wing shape, very slightly. Actually gonna take that same shade, fill in the outer corner, so a little bit more. And then for the inner corner, let's see, I'm probably going to take this shade from the I Need a Nude palette, which is called Sheen, which is one of the more finely milled shimmers. Just has a slight warmth to it. These formulas from the Natasha palettes are some of my favorites. Super smooth and glowy. So that'll just blend in with that other shade. Ooh, I love this. I love metallics in a cream formula as well, because you know they're not going to give you fallout. Going back into that same Bobbi Brown cream, I'm going to do a little bit just on the outer corner, and then I'll blend this out with my finger. Okay, and then we're going to take the other end of this, which is the Cinnamon shade, which is a matte shade, a matte warm brown. And this is going to be sort of like our liner. So just applying that really close to the lash line. I'm going to use that same brush just to blend it out. Also just took whatever was left on the brush on the outer corner. To make things look a little bit sharper, I like to take a flat brush. This is a Trixie P01. Honestly, doesn't even need product on it. Or you can just do a little bit of powder foundation just under the wing. Let me dip into a little bit of the One Size white powder foundation. So I like to put this right on the arch of my brow, just as a highlight. So for pencil liners, I have 3 favorites. 2 are more affordable, one's more luxury. The NYX Epic Wear pencil liner sticks, you probably already know I love these. They're pigmented and they do not budge off the lash line. So many different colors. ColourPop BFF, no, this is the ColourPop They're just called their cream gel liners. It's the shade Calabasas. Shimmery pink, again, really long lasting and pretty. Also the Victoria Beckham Kajal liners. This is the shade Rose Gold, which I think is going to be perfect with this look. So I'm going to use this one today on the waterline. Yeah, it matches so good. I'm wondering, is this actually called Rose Gold? Oh no, it's called Satin. Yeah, it's called Copper. I don't know why I called it Rose Gold, because it's a rose gold shade, but gorgeous. If you have blue eyes, will make them pop out of your skulls. And then for mascara, of course, it's got to be the Maybelline Sky High in brown. It's my go-to. Doesn't smudge, doesn't flake, looks beautiful. Just, I don't know, I can't get over it. It's so good. Nothing has beat it yet. But I do really also love the Swede Pro Lash Lift Mascara. This is also the dark brown shade. This one is really interesting, super lengthening, and I think I'm gonna use this one today just to change it up a little bit. I would say these two have similar effects. This one from Swede is maybe a little bit more lengthening versus the Maybelline one is slightly more thickening. I haven't used this, I don't think, since I started using the Make Beauty Lash Serum, but I feel like my lashes are so long. This is so pretty. I haven't used warm tones in a long time. I'm really loving this look though. If I do a warm tone look, I always verge on this like slightly more coppery pink tones to harmonize it with my undertones a little bit more. Just love it. On to lips. I do have some lip liners. We got some other stuff. First, lip liners, you're probably already expecting me to say ColourPop Cool BFF. It just matches my lips so good. And then also the Line Loud lip pencil from NYX is a really good long lasting one. I think I'm probably gonna go with the Cool BFF. It needs to be sharpened. These are just like some of my favorite cool tones that actually are cool tones and don't pull warm on me. I also have a full video about all my cool tone lip products, which you might have already seen. If not, it's there if you need it. This is just the perfect like neutral nude. Like, it's not really pink. This one is a little bit more pink. This is like neutral. True neutral. What I've actually been loving doing is having my lip liner. I usually do this before, or you can do it after you do lip liner. Taking a little bit of this contour powder on a small smudger brush and then just go right under the lip. I don't like to go on the sides of my mouth because it tends to look a little bit messy, but I do like to have a really blended looking lip. I feel like if you have softer features, if you feel like lipstick kind of looks a little bit like too harsh on you, try blending it out, like blend your edges a little bit more. It makes it look really natural. Also helps to contour. So, you know, sometimes it could just be so obvious that it's like skin and then lip liner. It helps to make it a little bit more seamless. See, I just so much prefer this like very blurred look. I don't like having a lot of sharp lines on my lips or like Cupid's bow or anything. I like it to be more like my actual Cupid's bow, which is, you know, not super defined. For lips, I love the Flower Beauty lip stains. The shade Play is such a pretty red shade. Swatch this in my lip swatch video of cool tones if you want to see it on. This is like my natural, like no makeup type of lip product. If I'm doing like just a brow stain tinted sunscreen, throw this on with lip balm. It lasts and just gives you such a pretty tint. My most used lip products of the year so far though, probably the Urban Decay Vice Bond lipsticks, the OG line. I love OG Back Talk as everyday. Love You Back Talk is slightly deeper, so let's go in with that one. These just have the perfect cool neutral tone. So these you have to apply and then let them dry. Like, do not rub your lips together. It's the best way to get them to last. And they're a liquid lipstick, but they don't dry matte. They have a glossy finish. Such a pretty color. This one is Love You Back Talk. They also have more of like a brown tone. Literally any of them in the Back Talk line. Perfect, cool neutral undertones. Hopefully that will dry soon. My favorite gloss, I love the e.l.f. one. I also really like the Lawless one. They're both a little bit more sticky, but I think I honestly like slightly more sticky lip products because they last longer. I don't know, there's something about like having that feeling of lip gloss on your lips. It makes me just feel a fantasy, you know? I don't know, it's just a little something extra like sensory wise to have a sticky gloss on. If it's windy and there's hair involved, hate it. But if I'm just, you know, inside, it's nice. This is from e.l.f. It's the one from the Jennifer Coolidge collab, but they do have a very similar shade in this formula, and I have tried a different shade of it and still really like the formula. This one just says 310 1ED, but I will link the one that's like baby pink and similar to this. And they both do, this one and the Lawless one both have a slightly like plumping, cooling effect, which I like as well. And then to set everything, I think the Pixi Makeup Setting Mist is a nice one. Honestly, any of the Pixi mists, if you have dry skin, the Glowy Mist is a really nice one. This one is more for longevity. Can you see how smoothing that e.l.f. gloss is? It is one, same with the Lawless one, that really like plums the lines in your lips if that's kind of look that you like. It was actually so much fun to do like makeup. My makeup is very natural the majority of the time. This is like, ooh, she's glam, fun, summery, a little bit of warm tones, but this is sort of how I cater it to suit my skin and undertone. Like it still looks relatively natural and not like super duper makeup-y because I mixed in a lot of cool tones, especially on the face and lips. But I hope you enjoyed learning about all of my favorite makeup from this year so far. Let me know any of your favorites from this year. I would love to know below. But thank you for watching. I will link another video here. This is one that YouTube thinks you'll like, so let's see if you do. Let's keep hanging out and I'll see you over there. Bye.